Well, hello, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back. Jiu-Jitsu 2000 here today. I'm back. I hope you guys are doing fantastic. I've got an interesting video for you today. We're going to talk about two lights here today. These are Olights. On the left, we're going to talk about the brand new Warrior 3. And on the right, we're going to talk about the M2R PRO Warrior. So the Warrior 3 here on the left basically replaced the M2R PRO Warrior. Both of these lights are absolutely fantastic. We're going to start with the price point here. The M2R PRO Warrior retail price is around $119.95. The Warrior 3 has the exact same retail price. However, if you catch the Halloween 2021 flash sale, you'll be able to pick this up for $83.97. It's also going to release in a desert camo. There's only 8,000 of those made, and it's also going to release in an orange for only 8,000 units of orange made as well. So let's start with the moonlight mode on the M2R PRO Warrior. Both of these lights, the moonlight mode is 1 lumen. On the M2R PRO Warrior, we're going to get 50 days of runtime out of moonlight mode. On the Warrior 3, we're going to get 55 days. So we gain 5 days of runtime on moonlight mode. That is a fantastic improvement. Now let's drop into low. We're going to look at both of these lights having a low of 15 lumens, and they both have an identical runtime, 130 hours, and they both run for 5.41 days. So both exactly the same on low. Now let's look at medium. Now this is where the major difference is between these two lights. On the M2R PRO Warrior, it had two different medium modes. It had medium 1, which was 60 lumens for 40 hours of runtime. That's 1.6 days. And then it had medium 2, which was 250 lumens, and that would last for 10 hours. Now, when you look at the Warrior 3 here, they only have medium. They don't have two different mediums. They just got a medium of 200 lumens for 13 hours. So 50 lumens less, but 3 more hours of runtime. And they skip that 60 lumen mode that you saw on the M2R PRO Warrior. So the question on medium is, do you want the two different mediums or do you want the single medium? I personally give the edge as far as medium is concerned to the M2R PRO Warrior because it gave you two different mediums. Again, 60 lumens for 1.6 days. That's fantastic. Now let's talk about high. We're going to go to 750 lumens here on the M2R PRO Warrior. That's going to last for 160 minutes or 2.66 hours. Then it's going to step down to 250 lumens to prevent the overheating of the light, and it's going to stay there for 40 minutes. Now, if we look at the Warrior 3, high is 50 lumens brighter, so we get 800 lumens for 166 minutes, so 2.76 hours. So we get more time at a brighter setting. Then it steps down to the identical setting of 250 lumens for 1 minute less, 39 minutes. So I gotta go with high. I gotta give the edge to the Warrior 3. I think it's fantastic. Now let's talk about turbo. Turbo is 1800 lumens on the M2R PRO Warrior for 4.5 minutes. Then to prevent overheating, it steps down to 750 lumens or high. It'll stay there for 145 minutes or 2.41 hours. Then it has a second step down to 250 lumens for 45 minutes. Now let's talk about the Warrior 3. 2300 lumens. So we're looking at 500 lumens brighter for 2.5 minutes. So I kind of wish they would have been able to stretch that out a little longer, because I really like that 4.5 minute turbo. But it is what it is. We get 2.5 minutes here. But then to prevent the overheating, it steps down to high, which is 800 lumens for 160 minutes or 2.66 hours. Then it steps down a second time to 250 lumens for an additional 39 minutes. So when it comes to when it comes to turbo, I've got to give the edge to the new light, the Warrior 3. I just like the way the turbo is. It's much brighter. 2.5 minutes is still a good amount of time. So I got to give the edge there. Now both of these lights have a strobe, so it's a wash on that department. Now the candela rating on the M2R PRO Warrior, we're getting 22,400 candela on turbo. And then on the Warrior 3, we're getting 23,000. So we get 600 more candela. Now I got to give the edge, a slight tiny edge to the Warrior 3, not by much. Now the distance of throw on these is it's a wash. It's identical. They're both 300 meters of throw. They both have similar lenses. The strike bezels are exactly the same. Now we're going to move into the IPX8 waterproofness. They're both IPX8 waterproof down to 2 meters, so it's a wash there. The impact resistance is identical, 1.5 meters. So it's identical there. Now let's talk about the length of the lights. 136.5 millimeters on the M2R PRO Warrior, or 5.37 inches. And then the Warrior 3 is a little bit longer, 139 millimeters, or 5.47 inches. So I've got to give the edge in length to the previous version, the M2R PRO Warrior. It's just a tiny bit smaller. Now the body diameter and things like that is 29.5 millimeters here, or 1.16 inches on the M2R PRO Warrior. That is identical on the Warrior 3. So the diameter is identical. It's a wash. Now let's talk about the weight of the light. The Warrior 3 weighs 176 grams or 6.21 ounces, and that weight is including the battery. Now on the M2R PRO Warrior, we're looking at 179 grams or 6.3 ounces with the battery. So the new Warrior 3, I've got to give the edge to, it's a little bit lighter. Now, when we're looking at the LEDs, we're looking at kind of a neutral white look here on the M2R PRO Warrior. And on the Warrior 3, we're definitely looking at a cool white, very white light. I definitely give the edge, in my opinion, to the Warrior 3. I like the white light. Now, on the power switch here on the side, you see the M2R PRO Warrior has that little dot in the center. That's going to give us a battery level indicator. The switch works fine. But on the Warrior 3, you have the 4 little LEDs on the left, which tell you the power level that you're on. So the first indicator is moonlight mode or low. The second one is medium. The third one is high. And the fourth one is letting you know that you're on turbo. And then, of course, on the right, you have the battery level indicator. So up to 25% is the first one, up to 50% is the second one, up to 75% is the third one, and up to 100% is the fourth one. Now, if you look at the switches from the side, and I'm going to try to turn these for the camera to see this, you're going to see that the M2R PRO Warrior switch kind of sticks out a little bit. It's a little bit of a bump, where the Warrior 3 is flat. And the Warrior 3 switch, the side switch here, it feels a little bit more robust. It feels like a harder type of rubber. It's not as soft as the M2R PRO Warrior switch. So in my personal opinion, I've got to go with the switch on the Warrior 3. I think it's a better switch. It seems like it's going to be tougher, like it's going to last longer, and there's no denying these power level indicators and brightness level indicators as being an edge. Now, if we talk about the pocket clips, they are both identical. Okay, now we're going to take a look at the tail cap switches. They're both stainless steel. The M2R PRO Warrior just kind of rounds up, and the Warrior 3, it has the same style as what we saw in the Odin. So it's very nice, because when you're going to put the pressure switch on here, it will lock into place. So I definitely give the edge to the Warrior 3 on the tail cap switch. So the modes are the same as far as moonlight mode, but when I kick it up to like low, that's when you're really going to see the difference in color of the light. The Warrior 3 here on the left is a very white light, and the M2R PRO Warrior is more of a neutral white kind of color. There's that medium one. There's the medium. Okay, so the medium. So you can see that we had an extra medium on the M2R PRO Warrior. I gotta go with that. I think it's better. Okay, we have both lights on moonlight mode, and I'm shining them on the wall over there, and you can't hardly see what's going on in moonlight mode. So let's bump it up to low. I'm gonna bring them back, and as you can see, the low on the M2R PRO Warrior on the right and the Warrior 3 on the left. There's medium. There's the first medium on the right. I like that they did that. There's the second medium on the right. You can see the second medium on the right is a little bit brighter. You get 250 lumens on the right here, where you get 200 lumens on the left. Now let's go to high. There's high on the right and there's high on the left. So on the right we're getting 750 lumens, and on the left, on the Warrior 3, we're getting 800 lumens. You can see that the 800 kind of drowns out that 750. It's a little bit brighter. And the biggest thing that we're seeing here is the difference of color. Double press on the right is going to get us turbo. That's 1800 lumens. Double press on the left, that gives us 2300 lumens of turbo. Both of these lights put out a fantastic amount of light. Personally, I love the Warrior 3, that cool white. It's fantastic. Now let's strobe on the right, 1, 2, 3. Strobe on the left, 1, 2, 3. Very disorienting. Let's get rid of the M2R PRO Warrior for a second. Get rid of the Warrior 3. So the strobes are both very disorienting. Single press turns them both off. Single press turns them back on to high. So both of these lights are absolutely fantastic. So folks, I want to say thank you for joining me today on this video comparing the Warrior 3 to the M2R PRO Warrior. I hope you enjoyed this video and got some good useful information out of it. Both of these lights are absolutely fantastic. I would choose either one. I do like the changes that they made on the Warrior 3. Please make sure that you're checking the description box down below. I'll put my affiliate links, so if you want to purchase anything Olight and help the channel out, I appreciate that. It doesn't cost you any more, but it definitely helps me out. So with all that being said, folks, again, thank you for stopping by. I hope you have a beautiful day. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.